Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Days Gone By 200 here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Race number 5 on the Harpoon Design Chase for the championship in the ERSCA Belly Up Sports Series. Dom Santina with Emily Harlan with us here, and Carlos Acosta, of course, our producer. David Westergreen will join us just in a few minutes once he finishes up with his elite race. But Emily, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm looking forward to this one. Especially after last week, I think things kind of got shaken up a little bit with Ryan Lutz not finishing in the top and a newcomer coming out to win the whole thing. So I'm really looking forward to this race. I think it's going to be an exciting one. And like everybody says, it seems like anything can happen here. So how are you feeling about it?
I totally agree there, Emily. Anything can and it will happen here tonight as we're getting ready to wrap up, get ready to go here shortly. But yes, it is Talladega. It is super speedway racing. The big one will happen. There are going to be wrecks. You will be busy. I know the last 2 weeks you've kind of got to be able to kick your feet up and relax a little bit, but I'm sure you'll have plenty to talk about tonight. Looks like we're heading to qualifying here right now. Let's see who will be able to start on the front tonight. Looks like there is lots coming out on track. Damian Leininger, Zishan, and Cameron Rich going to come on track. Let's see what their times will be. I think we'll wait and see if we can give David some time to get in here before we make picks here tonight.
Sounds good. Do you already know who you're going to go with, or are you kind of figuring it out these last couple minutes?
I think I have I was looking back at results. I have a couple of ideas. Do you know who you have, or are you still trying to?
Yes, but it's just based on a feeling. It's not based on, I haven't looked at any results or anything. So,
Well, your
we'll
guess
see.
is going to be as good as mine. So,
Do you think there's anybody who does well at this track?
I know early through the season, Cameron Rich really succeeded at running up front here at the super speedway tracks. I know David's really in tune with all these guys, but Cameron Rich has had a lot of success at these super speedway races, so he'll be one to watch tonight.
Hasn't he been Carlos's pick every week?
He has.
Maybe Carlos will get in the winner's circle tonight.
I think Carlos is the only one that hasn't gone first so far since he's joined us. So maybe he has got top fives, but maybe we'll let him get the first pick tonight once David joins us.
That's a good idea. Sounds good.
Carlos has definitely been consistent, so.
Yes, we will give him that.
Zishan's at the top of the board right now with a 54.239. Dallas Myhan, Damian Leininger, Richard Lafferty, and Ryan Lutz just got bumped out as Brendan Scott jumps to the third quickest. Cameron Rich is seventh quickest, 7 cars so far. There's Nick Massey, who's closed in on the points. I do believe it's 13 points now between him and your points leader, Ryan Lutz. So closed in a little bit last week. We'll see if he can tighten it up even more this week. There's the 12 car of Damian Leininger, who just went to the top of the charts with a 54.197. The 12 car looking to sit on the pole tonight. There's Joe Francis. Francis won our last super speedway race. Last time we were at Daytona, right before the chase started. Played a little bit of a spoiler. So again, Carlos killing it with the red names up there on top, showing you who is in the chase. And we have David. David, how'd your race finish up?
Heartbreaking defeat, as per usual.
Oh man, well, too bad. We're just got less than a minute left to go here in qualifying. Leininger is sitting on the top of the charts. We were telling Emily that she's going to be busy tonight and that anything can happen.
Well, if our race tonight at Daytona was any indication, these Xfinity cars are getting really, really loose in the draft. It's very difficult to hang on to them.
All right. Well, I think with about 20 seconds left to go, we can make our way on to picks if we want to. David, I thought since he's kind of got second and third, maybe even fourth choice at times, we'd let maybe Carlos take the first pick tonight. Emily and I kind of already have an idea of who he's going to pick, but we thought we'd let him go first.
Do it. What's he got?
There it is. No surprise. Going with Cameron Rich for the fourth straight week or fifth straight week. So. All right. Who wants to go next?
You go, Dom.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm going to go with Josh Adams. Is he in here? I didn't even see if he's in here. Is he racing tonight? I didn't even check. Okay,
Yeah,
he is in here. Okay, yeah. I'm going Josh Adams tonight.
David, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with a weird one here. I'm gonna go Zishan Dura.
All right.
I
He
think
showed
that's a
some
good
speed
pick.
in qualifying. All right.
He's very good at these plate tracks. Pushed our Elites Cup Series eventual champion Gerald Campbell to a victory at Talladega last year. I think he pushed Joe Francis to a win earlier this season at Daytona. So if I'm picking one of the guys out of the chase to sneak up and take advantage, it's going to be Zishan.
All right. And Emily?
I am going with, no surprise here, Ryan Lutz.
Okay.
I feel like he, not finishing in the top last week, he's going to want to get back there. I think he does it this week, guys.
You guys want to know a secret? Before the race,
What?
Damian Leininger told me that he was going to try to keep Ryan Lutz calm, cool, and in the back of the pack to avoid all the wrecks. We'll see if that plays out, given that Damian's on the pole.
Good strategy. I like it. I'm feeling good about it.
We'll see if it works out for him. All right, here is your starting lineup. Damian Leininger, Jared Campbell on the front row. Brendan Scott, Brandon Key, row number 2. Nick Massey, Johnny Thomas, and Chris Wright, Zishan, Dallas Mahan, Colin Fambrough round out your top 10. Jared Mogard and Cameron Rich will be row number 6.
Yep. There's Ryan Lutz starting 13th, and Kyle Hanshaw 14th. Those guys are going to be moving from the middle. Marcus Adams, Richard Lafferty. Adams joining us back after a good run last week. And here, as you go through this field, the last guys to qualify are Joe Francis. I think the rest of these guys did not qualify because they were all in the Elite Daytona race.
So there's where you'll see Ethan Burrell starting 20th, Scott Crump 21st, Josh Adams 22nd, Tate Lytle 23rd, Matthew Bayou 24th.
All these guys did not set a qualifying time. You'll have Hank Steinmiller coming from the back, Thomas Sherman, Matthew Weeks, Josh Clark, Michael Goodman, Casey Hatch, Ken Noah Player. I think that might be it for the field. Not sure if there's any more. So there you go. That's it.
A lot of big names coming from the back and a lot of guys that are pretty good at these restrictor plate races that we've seen run up front through the few that we've had so far this season.
We'll have to see if Chris Wright, Nick Massey, Gerald Campbell, some of these playoff guys, whether they go to the back. Ryan Lutz as well, Ethan Burrell. Are those guys going to try to head backwards, or are they going to try to push for the lead early in this race? I remember those halfway points at lap 40; those could be crucial as well. Ryan Lutz only has a 13-point lead entering tonight.
Yeah, 13 points. Some might say he's going to feel a little comfortable with Talladega. Always on the edge of your seat with what can happen, and sometimes you play it safe and go to the back, and you can still get caught up in something. So we'll see.
These guys going to be pack racing at Talladega, charging hard. I think 3 lanes will be viable. I think sometimes we might even see 4 wide from time to time. Early on, though, I think you're going to see them 2 by 2 all the way back. Some guys going to be hanging off the back of this field.
All right, pace car going to dive onto pit road. Damian Leininger going to lead us to the green flag here for the Days Gone By 200 at Talladega Motor Speedway. They come through the tri-oval. Green flag will be in the air. Leininger on the bottom, Campbell on the top. And we are racing. Campbell going to stick to the high side there, try to side draft and stay up there. No help from behind. Brandon Key loses quite a bit. Bottom line's got it stacked up, though. They're going to gain some momentum and push through 1 and 2.
Yeah, as long as there are vehicles in that top lane, though, it's going to go. It's going to be the preferred line of passing. Bottom lane, guys are going to get stuck down there and end up having to gather up and push back around them. See here, you don't want to get trapped on the bottom, and that's what Nick Massey doesn't want to do. He and his teammate Chris Wright heading to the top, looking for the lead.
Massey being aggressive first half lap in. Can he hold it back to the line? Outside, Damian Leininger racing for some bonus points early on.
Yep, certainly is trying to kind of lead the way for Apex Sim Racing tonight. Given that Lutz might be playing it safe, trying to get as many points as possible. Massey, though, is going to lead lap number 1 at Talladega. Big on the championship.
Yep, bonus points there for Nick Massey. David, now we've seen it a couple times here with these super speedway races. Is it going to be one of those things again tonight where the guy in second, third is going to jump up to the high line and get that run, and it's just going to be swapping the lead back and forth?
I think so, but I think if you get a band of cars kind of looking to run together, such as Massey and Wright, up in the front of the field, those are the kinds of guys that aren't going to let that happen. They'll run very close, and the leader will stay pretty much the same for a good chunk of the race. You just need guys committed to one another and not trying to jump out of line and pass. I think it's totally possible, given that we've got a couple of championship contenders in Massey and Wright. Not to mention, you got the Apex boys there. You've got Gerald and Zishan up in the top 10. I think a lot of teammates could try to get together and take control of this race in the bottom lane.
Jared Campbell takes a peek to the outside to go 3 wide of Johnny Thomas. No help. He's trying to just stick in that 4th spot on the high side. Now he is going to try to make it 3 wide. Johnny Thomas going to go with him.
Hank Steinmiller bailing out to the bottom back there. He's the only one so far to bail to the bottom. Thought maybe Ryan Lutz would think about it. He has not. He has stayed right in the middle of the pack.
That's kind of slowed the run for the middle lane now as Thomas trying to catch up with Wright and Massey. Leininger able to pull away by a car and a half. He'll slide up and block Massey now in the middle lane.
Now Leininger goes up to block, but that's going to open the door on the inside. Brandon Scott 4 wide as Thomas takes to the top lane. Scott's going to lead the lap. Johnny Thomas is going to have the run going into turn 1.
And Nick Massey is going to be left out to dry. He'll slot in behind Chris Wright and Damian Leininger right in front of Colin Fambro. Here comes Thomas to the bottom. He's looking to lead a lap.
Yep, Johnny Thomas trying to take a little bit of control of this race. I know he and Brandon Scott work pretty closely together. That could be a little partnership that works out well at the front of the field. While we check in on Ryan Lutz in the middle of the field, he's teamed up with another Apex Sim Racing car and Dylan Thomas.
Zishan just dropped to the apron, dropped about 15 spots, fell to the back of the pack.
Calculated move by my pick for the race, trying to stay out of trouble while there's no money on the line this lap. Johnny Thomas trying to take the lead here. I think that's another lead change if Johnny can make it work.
Looks like he will. He's going to lead by about half a car at the line. Damian trying to get that middle line hooked back together and get a push. We get to the corner panel, maybe the door of Thomas as they go through 1 and 2.
Yep, Leininger trying to hold steady there. He did tell me he was going to the back, and I kept telling him, Damian, look, the wrecks don't happen at the front of the field usually. So the safest place is usually if you can lead every lap. And that's what our strategy was this evening in Elite. We stayed up front, led nearly every lap, got a teammate the dub, didn't get a dub myself, obviously, but crashed there with about half a lap to go. So That's the kind of price you can pay. Is if we were running the top 5, fell all the way back to 24th at the end of that. So you can lose a lot of spots quickly at a place like Daytona or Talladega. And in this case, Leininger's going to get the lap led at the line. I think that's his first one of the day. Might be a second one, but another lead change on the board for this ERSCA group. They have already put together, I think, 4 or 5 lead changes in our 6 laps.
Gerald Campbell had got a rod on that high side, but now he has lost it, fell back just a little bit. Just on the corner panel of Massey there in the middle, about 3 or 4 cars deep in line. Side by side at the front, though, Thomas, Leininger battling it out.
The Talladega is more than wide enough for this amount of racing, right? 3 wide, 2 wide. You have a lot of room, and Talladega is very smooth. It's easy to maintain control of the car. But as this run goes on, these guys are going to get a little bit rear end loose in that area. Those rear tires aren't going to grip when you enter the corner nearly as much. You have to chase the car just a little bit more, and the amount of space available for 3 wide and 2 wide is going to go down, and then that's where you're going to run into some of these issues if these guys aren't careful.
Close one at the line there as Campbell got the run out of 3 and 4 that time on the high side, made it 3 wide at the line. Thomas is leading by a full car length right now as they're 3 wide behind him.
That bottom lane seems to be the strongest lane. That's kind of true with these iRacing cars. There's never really a point where you want to be up top. You just prefer that bottom lane. It just carries more speed in the corner.
Brandon Scott, the second car in line. He's going to jump up with Damian Leininger, try to take advantage, get a lap left for himself as they come through the tri-oval. Finish line up close. Down just a little bit more than the normal finish line, and Brandon Scott will pick up the lap left.
These guys are looking to set a record for some lead changes today. This is some great racing early on at Talladega.
Just like we were talking about in the open, Talladega lends to anyone having a shot to win. Some guys that we haven't seen run up front a ton this season. Brandon Scott, Johnny Thomas getting a couple laps led here early on.
Yep, Brandon Scott, Johnny Thomas trying to take control of the straights. Gerald Campbell up top. He has a little bit of a run. And I think if I look in the middle and back of this pack, Ryan Lutz just went around on Nick Massey. He's on the bottom. Massey's way up to the top of the track. That's not going to do the points any favors as Lutz coming to the front.
Yeah, Massey just jumped up to the high side and let Chris Wright fall through the pack. He's fading to the back now. He'll jump up and try to find some help. Massey on that high 3rd lane. Lutz 4th in line on the bottom. Right behind Cameron Rich.
By 3 It's rather stable 3x3 as well. Dylan Thomas working his way up through the middle of the field. Well, I believe that is Cameron Rich there. Got Josh Robin in this pack. Bunch of guys up here that are kind of freshly going after things for the first time. Brandon Key there on the bottom. He's been pushing Brandon Scott. He's kind of been trapped in that 2nd spot on the bottom lane for a good chunk of this early run. Crump, that must be Crump in that teal car in the middle. He is really working the back bumper of Damian Leininger.
I guess that is Scott Crump in the middle. David was right. Cars going all over the place back there. Someone looking for some help. Top line going to get them to run a little bit here. Leininger looking for some help in the middle from Crump. Middle line falling apart a little bit.
And guys are starting to... Ooh, man. Where the apron goes Johnny Thomas. Not sure if that was a calculated move by Scott. He's going to fall way back. And that's going to give the lead to Leininger on the outside. But it might be the best formed line up top. That's Gerald Campbell going to try to sneak his way around. And Leininger heads to the bottom. Help from Crump.
That might have been something you're talking about there, David. I don't know if Leininger got a little loose. I know he came down the racetrack on Johnny a little bit. Johnny gave way and they got pushed to the apron, and I think Brandon Scott just knew he lost too much momentum to pull back up in front of everybody, otherwise he was going to get wrecked.
Yep, good smart driving there by Brandon Scott. Too early to risk your car. Here comes Josh Clark up the middle. And that 28 Virginia Tech car, he's looking to try to make some noise here for Pro Edge Racing. That's Ethan Burrell and Matthew Weeks, his teammate. Bounces it off of Gerald Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell dives down. Scott Crump to the race lead.
Middle lane just seems to be the way forward. It's almost like an old early 2000s Talladega race where you would drop to the middle, just drive to the front, get in one of the other lanes, and fall back to the back.
Crump is sporting a different number scheme tonight than his normal 51 car.
Yep, he's running. A lot of those guys didn't have time to change their paint schemes from their elite car over to this one tonight, so that's why Crump's got a different colored car out there. I think similarly for Ethan Burrell in the 37. He's in a Mobil 1 car, his elite car.
Yep, that is right. I think that was Burrell that was earlier trying to look for some help, diving all over the racetrack just behind this big pack.
Ethan's going to need a good run, and he needs some of these guys up front to be taken out. You know, he had a really bad luck week last week. Ended up way outside the point, 25th, and just not enough for him to continue his championship hopes without some miracle happening here at Talladega. And this is a place of miracles. There's certainly all kinds of possibilities going to the end of the night.
Scott Crump continues to lead. Gerald Campbell still fighting in that middle to high lane as he bounces back and forth, trying to find something to get him to the front. Pick up some points to lead a lap. Looks like Cameron Richards is going to get pushed to the outside here. He's going to lose a couple spots.
Josh Adams has worked his way forward from the very back of the field. He's been on kind of a mission since the beginning. I think none of those other guys who didn't qualify have really been able to work their way to the front. Maybe Scott Crump is one of those. Crump and Adams have just come straight to the front. Clark as well, I suppose. So this is about the time we're seeing some of these guys who have some speed show up right at the front of this field.
Adams third in line in the high side with the black and gold colored car. He's going to take a peek to the inside, look to make it 3 wide as he's going to split Leininger and Clark. Try to go to the middle now. The line will go away. He'll tuck back into line behind Clark.
Campbell trying to move forward. Clark giving him a big push there. One thing I haven't really talked about, at least since I got in the air, is that if you're up really close to somebody in these Xfinity cars, that car will overheat and can blow the motor if you are not careful. Up top, Cameron Rich, Ethan Burrell trying to make something work in the high lane. But if Josh Clark stays too tucked up to the back bumper of that 31 car, he can blow the motor on that 28 very easily.
There he goes right there, taking a peek out, trying to get some air for that race car, making sure he doesn't overheat just 15 laps into it. Here we go, about to go 3 wide again though. Clark jumps up to the high side, trying to get that top lane rolling with Cameron Rich. Campbell's still stuck in the middle, and then it's Crump down on the bottom.
Nowhere to go when it's like this 3x3 all the way back. You just have to pick a lane, hope it doesn't slow up, right? Damian Leininger led laps early in this race. Johnny Thomas led laps early in this race. They've been caught on the bottom, and now they've fallen back. Now Leininger almost outside the top 10. Thomas is outside the top 10.
Campbell led the last lap. Now he dives down to the bottom in front of Scott Crump. Bottom line is the preferred line, it seems, although the middle and top lines have got runs at times. Bottom line prevails most of the time at the line. We'll see if Campbell can hold it again, as here comes Adams in that middle lane with Brandon Key pushing.
Straightens out that middle lane. That just really slowed up the top. It allows that bottom lane to really take advantage of it here, and Campbell and Adams are going to be side by side entering one. There's not been a point where I think the leader has been alone for more than about half a lap. The guys just jump alongside him immediately and try to take the lead back. There's great racing going on. These guys are really interested in putting on a show, not interested in riding around whatsoever.
Here comes Josh Adams trying to get to the front, get a bonus point. We've gone back to 2x2 racing now. No one jumping back up to the high side. Everyone kind of talking in line. Burrell's lost the pack a little bit. There goes Clark now. He's going to try to either fall back.
Might be a crash on front of 4 there. Cameron Rich is not in our picture anymore. I think he might have gotten involved in something there.
Richard Hines definitely has some damage to the back of
There's
that car.
Cameron Rich.
Definitely an incident between those two. They keep it green though.
Yep, none of our points contenders taken out. I would describe Rich is not really a points contender at this point in our championship chase. Chase for the belly up cup, trying to get a crown us a champion. We're looking right now, got it focused on the points leader on the bottom. That's Ryan Lutz. Up top, this is the incident between Rich and Hines. Rich maybe just comes down with somebody underneath him there. Yep, that's exactly what happened. They spin to the inside. That's what keeps things from being a caution.
Well, that was Carlos's pick. He let him. I don't think he's ever going to want to pick first ever again.
We pick the same guy every time. He's riding and dying with Cameron Rich, and Rich crashed out of this one early. See if he tries to stay in there, get himself a caution, a timely caution. One guy I kept an eye on, he fell straight to the back here. He's all the way in the back. Is Chris Wright. He has gone from running with the leaders in the lead. He is the last car off the back of this pack. Kind of a shocking decision by Chris Wright. Thought for sure he would want to run up near the front, but turns out that's not at all what he's looking for. Trying to employ that strategy, the Dale Jarrett style, ride in the back, wait till it's all over, and then come to the front at the end. Works sometimes. Sometimes you can't get through the pack when it's too crowded like this.
Brandon Key challenging to be another name on the list of leaders here. He got a run there through the middle of 3 and 4 to the line, challenging Josh Adams, who's jumped down to the bottom lane.
Adams is strong tonight in the elite race at Daytona as well. My team kind of conspired. We were just trying to work hard to beat Josh because we know he's really good at this. So at one point, Josh was behind me. We were leading the lane, and when we had him kind of trapped back there, it was really confidence boosting whenever Josh could get to the back bumper and push you. He's very, very good at this.
He's got Campbell right behind him pushing. Now Campbell going to split. He's going to wreck.
Oh,
there goes Brandon Key into Clark. Lutz, I think, might have went around too.
There's the
Dylan
caution's
Thomas,
out now. Caution's out now.
Together.
This is going to be like a 2-car wreck. I have no idea how these guys made it a 2-car wreck. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. There were cars sideways in the middle of the pack, smashing into each other. And we end up with, I think, maybe 1 car with damage, 1 car spun around. Like, that is seriously a wonderful job by this group. Holy cow.
Well, I know Leininger definitely has some front nose damage.
It's not back here, I'll tell you that. I think Chris Wright just stopped to avoid the wreck.
You can see everybody trying to get on the brakes. There's Dylan Thomas in the infield. He got spun around in the middle of that. Here you go. Campbell jumps on, gets into Brandon Key. They go spinning. Key gets sent up into the wall. Right
there
into Josh
right
Clark.
There. Gerald came up into Dylan. Dylan's going to get Damien. So Dylan's wrecked. Campbell's wrecked. I think Clark and Key are going to have some pretty significant damage. Oh, man.
In a way.
This stinks.
In a way, that was actually like 2 wrecks that Campbell kind of had a part in.
Yep. Not the best start there, I think, for Gerald Campbell. In this one, he's going to have some significant damage. Randy Key gets damaged. A bunch of the leaders get damaged. That was right at the front of the field, which is, exactly what I told Damien wasn't going to happen. That was literally the lead cars were the ones that got taken out in the middle. Josh Adams going back up on the track. Everybody behind was able to just slow up and avoid this. It wasn't like a 20 or 30 car pileup.
Yeah, I think Lutz is okay. He spun a little bit trying to slow down, but I think he's all right. Looks like Crump might be all right. You can see him taking a hard left, but I don't know if he actually made contact with anything.
Bad contact right there is pretty significant for both Josh Clark and Brandon Key. How does Ethan Burrell get through this? I think Ethan's going to get a little damage bouncing it into the back of his teammate, but he woes that 37 up and keeps it okay. I think Harrison Talon got a little damage in that. Very odd wreck here. I don't think Ethan's going to have any damage. I don't think Ethan's going to have any damage. He's going to cut down.
Oh, watch this one.
There's some damage. Well, well, well. Man,
that was going to be a heck of a job. That was going to be a heck of a job if he got through that, though.
It was almost, but now I think the leader is going to be Crump, then Nick Lafferty, Robin, Kyle Hanshaw, Josh Adams, Matthew Weeks, Ryan Lutz, Hank Steinmiller, Thomas Sherman, a bunch of names we haven't seen coming off pit road first because everybody else fixing that damage they have on their cars. Let's go see what Emily got from pit road. Emily, what'd you get?
Hey guys, yeah, I just went down and chatted with the guys at Rubbins Racing. Josh Adams said he has 16 seconds of damage on his car. Brandon Key said he's sure he has a lot more than that. Chris Wright said he's just hanging out in the back and letting everybody wreck up front, and then he's going to make a run for it. Brandon Key did tell me that he's getting his damage fixed, and then he's coming back with a vengeance to get that top spot again. So, see how it goes.
See how much damage he has. Emily, do you know like how much time he had on that 6 car?
He didn't tell me. He said he just was assuming he had a lot more than what Josh said, which Josh said he had 16 seconds. So Brennan said he thinks he has a lot more than that, but he didn't say right off the bat. So we'll see how that one goes.
Oh, well, well. First big incident of the day. I would say it claims probably 1 or 2 cars total. Probably poor Dylan Thomas, and then, you know, maybe Damian Leininger as well with some heavy damage. Maybe Gerald Campbell. But really not a whole lot of heavy damage doled out by this crash. A lot of light damage, a lot of stuff guys can get fixed.
Carlos brought up the point that helps Cameron Rich out just a little bit.
Does. He's going to get a chance to fix the damage on that 47 car, and I don't think he ever went a lap down, so he'll be right there on the lead lap with the leaders as we pace around 1 to green.
So we made it almost 25 laps, or about 20 laps or so before that first caution wave. We've had a couple laps under caution now.
Nick Massey missed this wreck completely. So did Ryan Lutz. Those guys sitting 7th and 8th. Can't get away from each other.
I have a feeling that's how it's going to be the rest of the season. 48-36. Going to be right in tow with each other.
Yep, I think you're going to have to watch out for Ethan Burrell, too, if he ends up having some sort of luck here tonight. He obviously already has some damage, but in theory, that damage not too significant, and 37 will be able to draft through the field.
Still got a long way to go in this one, too. For him, who knows what else can happen.
Crump, Josh, Robin going to be your 2 leaders, I believe. Of each lane, Kyle Hanshaw and Josh Adams, the 2 following. Pair of Toyotas, pair of Chevys. Leading the lanes, and if I had to wager which lane wins out early in this one, I would say that lane with Josh Adams is probably going to push forward here.
Actually, we'll even be 3 deep with Toyotas on the inside and 3 deep with Chevys on the outside. As it'll be Weeks and Watts in row number 3 as well.
Green flag coming back out after our first major incident of the day. About 14 laps until we award stage points to the top 10. Then it'll be a 40 more laps to decide this one. I believe. We must be doing 60 laps instead of 80. I thought we were doing 80.
We are doing 80 and 20.
That's what I had figured. Inside line a little bit broken up, but that outside line has no help after 5 cars. Cars in the line there on the outside. Inside well formed up. Matthew Weeks, Zishandura there right on the bottom. Canyon Pest. Maybe I should have ridden in the back. Jared Mogart trying to form that 3rd lane early in this run. But here comes the outside line. Josh Robin to the lead at Talladega. Ryan Lutz is up into 3rd. And Adams cuts to the inside. Now Lutz goes to the middle. Robin, I think, just wanted to lead a lap. He's heading to the back.
Gutsy move there by Ryan Lutz. He dives down in front of Crump. Now he's going to move his way up to the middle line, pick up Peter, and he's going to try to challenge and lead a lap here down the backstretch.
Ryan Lutz definitely wants that lap-led bonus point. Nick Massey's already gotten it. Ethan Burrell's car seems to be working fine. There. So does Cameron Riches, obviously, oddly enough. But Adams is going to hold off Ryan Lutz for now.
Crump's going to get a run to the inside with Hanshaw. It's going to take Lutz's option away. And here comes Brandon Scott through the middle. He's going to get a run. He might lead the lap at the line, and I think he did. Scott
with a really good run there. He got pushed by Matthew Weeks, and look who it is. Ethan Burrell has come to the front. 37 car might not be too damaged after all, or although he might have to stick it right behind his teammate there to get any draft. That car may be poor when it leads. Zishandura has had enough, and Matthew Weeks to the front at Talladega.
It's the second time we've seen Zishan dive it way down to the apron to get out of the way of everybody. Weeks and
Burrell just trying to stay in line here. I don't think that 37 car is trying to do too much. Just wants to be out front of the carnage should it happen.
Brandon Scott having himself a day though. Here he comes with Scott Crump on the outside trying to get a run to draw even once again.
Scott looking pretty racy in this one. He's certainly trying to vie for his first win of the season. A couple more cars trying to vie for their first wins of the year. Harrison Talon there in 5th. Casey Hatch in 7th. Fueled Up Racing cars looking strong. Hatch subbing for Jordan Owens down with a stomach bug tonight.
It's Weeks, Burrell, Lutz, Hanshaw, and then Massey, the 5 cars on the bottom line. So your 3 top points drivers within 3 cars of each other.
Yep, those guys keeping each other close, I would say. Also, I think Chris Wright is actually in front of Ethan right now. I think Ethan's actually back to 6th after that one bad race. Just goes to show you how close all of this stuff is. It's just going to be very difficult for Ethan to gain those points back unless something bad happens to the guy who's drafting with him right now.
Yeah, you're right, David. I forgot about that. Ethan falling a couple spots after last week. And there goes Steinmiller maybe jumping out, heading to the bottom.
I think Steinmiller's strategy. He likes to hang out in the back, wait for the wrecks and such to happen. Matthew Weeks is going to spin out Brandon Scott if Scott doesn't let up. Ooh, my.
Yeah, it was a big block thrown by Brandon Scott there. Weeks was inside of him. Now he'll get shoved to the middle. Does Scott run for Crump on the outside? There's Fambro picking up Scott in the middle.
But here comes Harrison Talon up top, and they won't be able to clear. So Scott cuts through the middle. He's going to get to Scott Crump's back bumper. Weeks leads on the bottom. 3 abreast 4 deep, it looks like, up through there. The outside line led by Talon, middle line led by Crump, and Weeks leads the bottom, and he is your race leader. And there's a gold car in there that's starting to work his way forward right behind Colin Fambro's orange car. I think that's Tate Lytle. It might be more of a chrome orange as well. Tate and Johnny Thomas working well together through the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, that is Tate Lytle in 56 machine, third in line in the middle.
Yep, beautifully painted scheme. Days gone by. The sponsor of that one and the sponsor of our race, Brent Wentz, always does a great job and is always supportive of the leagues that a lot of these drivers run. A lot of those guys have met him. Sponsors Tate's car just about all the time. Scott Thomas taking the lead.
Thomas and Adams looking to make it 3 wide up top. Rich will go up there with him. Massey jumps out of line towards the middle, looking to pick up some help. There's Weeks back into it. He's helping Massey get to this middle line. Or right, so right get back into the middle.
Johnny Thomas up top with Josh Adams. Formidable little duo up there. They've got help from Cameron Rich as well. They're going to try to make that outside lane work. Weeks and Burrell have been separated. The 11 car now in that middle lane. Burrell on the bottom. Ethan's okay as long as he's not trying to leave one of these lanes. There's a move. I think Massey to the top of the racetrack.
Massey, who had just jumped up, was right there about a lap ago. Now ditches right and will jump up and try to get that top line rolling with Johnny Thomas.
Yep.
So far, not so successful.
Remember before that wreck, Chris Wright was way off the back of the field behind the wreck, so slow that he looked like he was involved in the wreck. Now he's back in the top 10 in the points, looking to try to make some noise here when we come to halfway.
Side by side, Weeks and Crump out front, the 2 Toyotas leading everybody around. Inside 10 laps till we get to that halfway point. Weeks jumped up there now in front of Massey, gonna add another car to that third line.
I think that's his teammate Chris Wright. Jumps up all the way to the top. He's gonna try to lead that outside lane in the Jerry Nadeau throwback car. Love to see it as Wright coming to the front on the top.
They got to run now and draw it even with Weeks and Crump. And there goes.
Oh man!
Wright dives all the way down to the bottom.
Man, big move by Wright. What I was saying was it takes the car on the outside lane a lot longer to go around the track. You have to drive more distance because you're so far away from that bottom. So what you'll often see is those cars on the top, they'll gap the cars on the bottom of the straightaway like Nick Massey's doing right now, and the cars on the bottom will enter into the corner and feel better about it on the bottom in the corner. You see these guys are pulling away from that top lane.
Well, and I think exactly what you were explaining there, David, is what you saw with Nick Massey. He knew he gapped him. He had time to jump down there, but Wright just had too much of a run entering the corner that Massey couldn't jump all the way down to that bottom line. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh, they're wrecking big.
Around into
Josh Adams is in it. Cameron Rich is in it again. Jared Mogard in it. Oh, someone's going to get taken out there. Some talent's going to save it. Hatch is involved.
Steinmiller, I think, got a little bit there at the end of it.
Michael Goodman involved. Brandon Scott, the one who kind of went up, over on his side. When you're battling this close with this much action, very, very difficult to keep the cars straight. There it is. Chris Wright's going to get through. Lutz gets through on the bottom. Burrell gets through. Pretty much a worst case scenario, I would say, for Ethan Burrell there.
Didn't see
Steinmiller does get a little damage.
Didn't see who Brandon Scott got into there, but got into someone as they tried to go 4 wide behind Nick Massey. That didn't work out. Oh, Weeks. He got into Matthew Weeks.
Might have been. kind of a questionable decision to try to take them 4 wide right there. And I think 4 wide, that's the kind of weakest of these racing incidents, these racing types. You can't really be 4 wide or you're going to get wrecked. Scott bounces it off of Weeks right there. Yep, just not enough room. So Weeks is going to be involved in this one pretty heavily, hard into the wall. Ryan Lutz, Tate Lytle, I think the last 2 to get through there on the bottom. Matthew
Scott
Bayuk
riding
as well.
on the hood of Jared Mogard there. Come down right in front of Cameron Rich.
Got to send Emily to pit road, see if we can get some reactions off of this big wreck here. What we're going to see is Scott Crump was pushed to the apron by this wreck. Nope, he didn't. He just bounced off of it and kept on going. 90 car never saw a thing. This will be a wild ride. Jared Mogard. 4 wide, into the wall. Mayhem.
And hello, Brandon Scott. That's what he said right there.
Should have sold advertising for the bottom of that car. Back of the field, quick look here as they crash in front. See these guys try to whoa up. Yeah, look at that. Goodman came down through there and clobbered the 13 car. I think the 13 is Adams. Goody locked up the brakes. That's so easy to do with these plate cars. You run a bigger brake package because there's not really any reason to run brakes. You never really hit the brakes. And as soon as you get onto them, you can lock them up very easily there.
Definitely didn't do as good of a job stopping the back of the pack. Steinmiller got a couple of shots in there trying to get through.
Zishandura made it through quite easily.
Yep, looks like he was all clean.
Emily back from pit road after the big one. Emily, what you got?
Yeah, as soon as I jumped in to chat with a couple of the guys, I heard, can somebody please bring me a beer? So that should tell you how it's going for the Pro Edge Racing guys right now. But Matthew, obviously said he has a ton of damage to that car. Like you guys had mentioned, didn't really know why he was hit there. He didn't seem too happy with a couple of the other guys that are racing against him right now. Tate said that he has no idea how he managed to get out as cleanly as he did. He said he thought he had a couple bumps here and there, but somehow managed to escape it. So we'll kind of see how those guys do the rest of the time here. But they did have some choice words for some of the guys that got into him on that wreck there. So.
Well, if you know anything about Matthew Weeks, he's a very quick thinking individual. He'll say immediately what's on his mind and go back later and revise it. But yeah, I don't know that there was too much to blame there. I mean, Brandon Scott takes him 4 wide. There's just really not room there in that scenario. But I'm sure Weeks not thrilled with Brandon Scott, obviously. But later on, I'm sure he'll go back and look, and there's probably nowhere to go.
So it'll be Wright and Massey on the front row. Massey has the number 1 position. That'll be Johnny Thomas, Colin Fambro, and Scott Crump, your top 5. Lutz, Lytle, Burrell, Hanshaw, and Bayuk, top 10.
Yeah, Matthew Bayuk making it through that wreck. He was like the last one to get through. He and Tate Lytle really snuck through there at the end before it all kind of clogged up. Interested to see how much speed some of these guys have now that they have some damage. Josh Robin, Brandon Key, they're starting to work their way back up through the field, but we're quickly coming up on only having about 10 or 15 cars. And what timing for Chris Wright and Nick Massey to move to the front and completely miss that wreck, even when they would have been sucked up in the back.
Oh, not only that, it's going to be pretty high aggression here on this restart because when we go green, we're going to have 2 to 3 laps for that midway point. So these guys are going to want as many points as they can get, especially if you're someone like Chris Wright and Nick Massey.
Johnny Thomas and Colin Fambro, the two pushers for the teammates out front between Massey and Wright. The Robbins Racing Motorsports car is going to try to lead this line and get as many points as they can on that 5th place car, Ryan Lutz. Green flag back out at Talladega. Massey and Wright, and Wright's got the run.
You see how aggressive the 37 of Burrell is too. He's sitting right behind Ryan Lutz right now on that inside line. We'll see if Burrell tries to get by him and pick up a point or two.
Yeah, Burrell needs to finish in front of Ryan Lutz unequivocally. I mean, this stage is pretty crucial to his championship hopes right here. He needs to win this stage, or at least get a second and have those guys kind of fall back around him. If you can't do that, you really can't gain anything. This halfway stage is just so vital to being able to gain points, because not everybody can grab these points.
I feel like Massey's got a pretty confident pusher behind him. Johnny Thomas, I feel like, is not going to be a guy that's going to do anything too erratic and take Massey out of this here for the points-wise.
Johnny Thomas, one of the best pushers in the business. He is the guy you want to be on your side in one of these races. You can control the race when he's alongside you there. Johnny's really, really good at this stuff too. Very, very competent when pushing and aware of all the cars around him. Rarely makes a bad decision that forces other drivers to get involved in an incident.
Wright's going to pull even with Massey down the backstretch here.
Next lap we'll get the halfway points. So not yet. It is time to pull out, try to go for 3 wide.
We're all kind of stuck on the bottom. He's got Crump up above him. Can't really go anywhere. Still tucked in behind Lutz.
Kyle Hancock to the top around Tate Lytle. The line, I think Chris Wright got Massey. One more time around and we'll award some points. Who's going to be the first one to go to the top in this outside lane? For now, though, Nick Massey charges through on the bottom.
Massey trying to hold on for half a lap longer over his teammate Chris Wright.
Wright to the middle. Robin to the top. Trying to win this stage. Tate Lytle trying to push Josh Robin.
Johnny Thomas getting a little loose there on the bottom, trying to push Nick Massey to the halfway point.
Ethan Burrell's not careful. He's going to fall out of the points entirely here. Here they come through the tri-oval. No one can hang with these Robbins Racing boys. They're going to pick up points on Ryan Lutz. Massey's going to get the stage win. Wright second. Thomas third. Fambro fourth. I think Lutz got fifth there. Robin hadn't quite made it up to the top 5. Ethan Burrell's going to barely get points, probably about 7th or 8th. Johnny Thomas bailing on that immediately. Got his stage points. He's heading out of there. That means Ryan Lutz will be first car on the bottom. Behind Nick Massey, of course. These guys can't really tandem draft. I mean, we saw Josh Robin and Tate Lytle kind of trying to hook up. You can't really hook up with these cars. The noses aren't really square, so you'll turn the car around in front of you. But you can give some really long pushes. You can really lean on that car in front of you and give them a very, very big push. And if you are very smart with it, you can shoot them out to the lead. You can gain a lot of time, but it's just so risky to do that when you have contact with the other car.
Fambro trying to get that middle line going. Just to the outside of Nick Massey now in that second spot, trying to challenge Chris Wright for the race lead with Crump pushing him behind him.
Massey wins the stage. Teammate Chris Wright finishes second. They drop down. They start running 1-2. Try to dominate the rest of this race. Pick up that extra point for leading the most laps. That would be another point in the cap of these Robbins Racing guys as they try to challenge Ryan Lutz's points lead.
Nick Massey's got a mirror full of that 36 car. He's tucked in right behind him on the bottom line. And Burrell's right behind him as well. So Some of the top guys right there on that bottom line.
Yep, they're all trying to play it safe right here. Bottom line is my favorite line to be in if I want to avoid any sort of accidents. You can just kind of drop to the apron and get on the binders. And, you know, that will allow you to run more conservatively down there. You don't necessarily have to be on it the whole time because these cars check up a lot when you're on the bottom in a line. Just very difficult because of the runs for everybody to keep it full throttle. And so these inside lines, you have to check up a little bit. That's what allows those cars to go around you and run side by side with you.
Clark, Hanshaw, and Thomas, and Johnny Thomas, that is, has jumped up to the top of the racetrack. They're trying to get that third line going on the high side. They're going to draw even with Colin Fambro here.
Robin was in that outside lane trying to get up into the race lead. Robin likes to lead these plate races. Very good plate racer, very smart, always trying to get up to the front of the field. Never one to hang in the back.
Got a slow car here on the inside.
Jared Mogard not really yielding any space to these leaders. While they're 3 wide, bit treacherous there. Everyone makes it through okay.
He didn't, I guess maybe didn't realize how fast they were coming. Once he did see that Nick Massey or Chris Wright was coming to the inside of him, he got out of the way and bailed out.
And that allows Massey and Wright to really control the bottom lane here. You have to make so much ground in that middle line. You have to be very well formed up. A lot of guys dedicated to pushing to the race lead. And if you don't have that, you're not really able to move forward. Ethan Burrell trying to top lane. I'm still not sure if that 37 car can lead a line. There is some nose damage on it. After crashing, we've got Harrison Talon moving back into the top 10. I think Thomas Sherman's been involved in one. Josh Robbins definitely been involved in one. Burrell's been involved in a wreck, and all those guys don't care. They're still pushing hard for this race win. Richard Hines has made a nice recovery after that spin with Cameron. He's up to 14. Ethan Burrell is pushed into the race lead by Josh Robin. Those guys on the outside lane making it work about as well as anybody has all race.
Burrell knew he couldn't sit back too much longer. He's not going to achieve anything sitting behind the top 3 guys in points, so he dives to the outside. Now he's getting help and looking to take the race lead.
I don't think we've only seen a couple of guys be able to make that outside line work all the way into the lead. Chris Wright was the only one I've seen do it so far today. I think maybe Johnny Thomas did earlier in the race as well. You have to have a big group of dedicated cars up there trying to make that outside line work, and dedicated to kind of resign to falling back once that lead car drops to the bottom. And Josh Robin definitely doesn't want to, Ethan Burrell to drop to the bottom and leave him out there without that run. He would much rather stay in position with as much track position as possible in case that caution does come out. How about Gerald Campbell back up into the top 10 after being backwards on our first caution of the day? Three wide, 4 deep. I don't think Fambro's been able to get by Chris Wright at the start-finish line. I think he's only ever at his door. Here he comes, same story. Chris Wright, the race leader. Tried to mention every car in this front pack, and I know that the only one I haven't mentioned, and I think I improperly mentioned, was Dallas Myhand in the 13, up in the top groove, 3rd car behind Josh Robin and Ethan Burrell there. He is in the top 10 now and having a good run. might want to do a bring the noise here while we're sitting and waiting. What do you think, fellas? Let's do it. Let's bring the noise.
All right, hello everybody, welcome back. Anxious moments there just about quarter of a lap ago. Ryan Lutz tried to dive to the outside of Weeks. They made a little contact. Now he's been shuffled to the high side. It's going to fall back. Ethan Burrell in the middle line leading Colin Fambro trying to challenge for the race lead.
Yeah, racing's been a bit wild since we went there to the bring the noise break. I feel like some stuff happened that we weren't really prepared for. They've been ganging up on these Rubbins racing cars, and Chris Wright and Nick Massey have been able to fend them off each and every step of the way.
Wright still holds it at the line there that time.
Ethan Burrell has the best advantage anyone has had on these cars, though. He and Colin Fambro, Scott Crump working well together. I guess the damage not really hindering that 37 car much at all.
Going to encounter some more lap traffic, some slow cars here on the bottom. It's like Brandon Key, Josh Clark, and one other car in there.
Yeah, difficult to see who that was. I think it's Casey Hatch with 45. Bunch of cars involved in wrecks so far tonight. Still, though, that kind of ruined the run Ethan Burrell had to Chris Wright and unable to take the lead at the line. come there. So Thomas Sherman's worked his way up into the top 10 here. An impressive run for the 17 car. We're waiting for him to. I'm waiting for him to break into victory lane. I think it's on its way. Sherman tends to show that top 5 speed. He just hasn't been able to find the right combination of luck to get himself all the way up into the lead spot. Ryan Lutz, that last car on the outside lane, that is a somewhat dangerous spot to be in. Should that wreck happen in front of him, he might not have anywhere to go.
Wright and Massey getting a run, going to pull away from Burrell a little bit on the bottom line. Even Talon almost got clear there.
Yep. If Harrison could go work with Ethan, I think they would probably try to perform a run there. I mean, Field Up Racing and Pro Edge Racing have a good alliance, and those two teams trying to work together is not uncommon in any of these series. Ryan Lutz goes around Josh Robin, up to 4th now in that outside lane. Wait and watch that progress of that 36 car. He is running as aggressively as anyone on track. And I think with Johnny Thomas behind him, Scott Crump in front of him, they may try to make that outside line do a little more than it's currently doing with Ethan Burrell up front.
Oh, there goes
Bayou through the grass.
Campbell down to the inside. Yeah.
That's the second time Gerald Campbell's been on the apron in this race. This time it's a lot smoother entrance back to the track for him. This time he cleared out Dylan Thomas. That checked up the whole field. Ryan Lutz way back now. Ethan Burrell falling back. Let's see if that forms a new group of cars in that outside lane. I think it's going to. Johnny Thomas working his way through to it. I think Nick Lafferty right behind him as well. Kyle Hanshaw, Hank Steinmiller all trying to get in there with Josh Robin.
We're getting to that point where we've seen the last 2 cautions. They go about 20 or so laps, and then caution comes out, so we're approaching that in here as we're almost 3/4 of the way through.
Johnny Thomas trying to find a spot to bring it out himself there, going to the top lane. That 3 wide just kind of killed the middle line's momentum, though. Not particularly productive right now for Johnny Thomas, and Lafferty unable to help him. Right now, it's all Rubbins racing. Those cars have been rock solid in the front of the field all night long, and you know this was their plan going in to try to win this race and get as many points as they could. They got the maximum amount of stage points. They have to continue to eat into the Ryan Lutz lead.
Here comes Jared Mogard on the bottom again. This is the 3rd time they'll be going around the 00 car. He hasn't really got out of the way at either time, and there he won't either.
That way it was a little bit better, though. He was a little more consistent with holding his line. The other 2 times they got him on the back straightaway, and he was off the bottom. And the other time was in the corner, and he had come up off the bottom a little bit. So then that time was the best. Here we go. Now Harrison Talon and Ethan Burrell have finally worked together a little bit, and I think the 37 is going to try to shove the 32 into the lead.
Talon got a little loose once he got up there, able to get that DoorDash 32 car straightened out and looking to go to the front.
Talon running that kind of Bubba Wallace style scheme, and it's looking really good up near the front of the field. Haven't seen or talked much about Harrison so far this season, but when he gets to the front of these plate races, he can absolutely go out there and win a race. It's just a matter of, actually pulling it off, getting that luck to all fall in the right place. He's certainly got a good spot for it right here. Great track position and a teammate right behind him. A virtual teammate, at least.
We'll see how it works out.
Still unable to get up to Chris Wright, though, man. That outside lane, just having a tough time getting to the 69 car. He has been really, really solid on the inside, and with Massey pushing, and Massey's just doing a great job of keeping his teammate out ahead of the chaos.
Bottom line, able to get a run again all the way up to Scott Crump, who's going to get clear. Sherman almost got clear as well. Let's see if Crump decides to jump up to the top side.
Yep, Talon's car might be a little bit of damage. A little bit damaged, and with Burrell's car also definitely having a little bit of damage, not to mention that outside lane really thinning out, makes it difficult for them to gain any run on these inside line, which is well formed up, these guys trying to get to the end of the race. They also might be preparing for pit stops.
It's Robin the third in line, followed by Thomas, and then Lafferty, that top line.
Yep, not a whole lot of cars up in the top. Harrison Talon does eke into the lead down the back straightaway. Don't know that he'll be able to hold it. And Burrell goes to the top lane. That car might be running hot.
Burrell bails out.
In fact, I think that's definitely what's happening. We did discuss it, and I think after watching these two races tonight, it is an absolute skill for you to be able to push close to the car in front of you without overheating your engine. Some guys can do it, some guys can't, and I also wonder if Ethan Burrell's damage isn't contributing to the overheating on that car. Burrell back in the field now, and Josh Robin, the one up to the back bumper of Harrison Talon to try to push him to the race lead. No one's been able to do anything with Chris Wright on this run.
Now that 69 car stayed on the bottom block to that yellow line and has controlled it.
The pair of teammates have really made it work at the bottom, and you can see just how much of a run Massey gets over Crump. He's able to really help Wright control that bottom line, prevent any of these outside lanes from having a run that can clear Chris Wright. Robin now pushing Talon about as hard as I've seen anyone push so far today. And that's just enough to get even with Chris Wright, not enough to get around him. Got about 20 cars in this front pack. If we have a smaller pack separated off the back, hoping for a caution. Pit stops are coming soon. They're going to have to pit one more time before we end this race. I don't think anybody could have gone from 35 to 80. It's over 50 laps. It's going to be pretty difficult to save that much gas. I think you can only go about 38 to 40 laps on one tank.
So we expect them to come down pit road here soon.
I would think so. We might want Carlos to pull up the pit stops graphics, see how long it's been since those guys came down pit road. And Harrison Talon's getting left in the middle.
There it is on the bottom of your screen.
Yep, these guys are over 40 laps now. I think we're going to be seeing them heading to pit road very, very soon, within the next 3 or 4 laps.
Closing in, 16 laps left to go. Difference might be when you take that pit stop. The strategy you play might just win you this race.
Yep, and then I think you need to keep your eye on, as here they come down pit road. The Rubbins Racing Cars and Ryan Lutz, Johnny Thomas as well, all coming down pit road. Don't speed. And if these guys out that are still on the track can run an absolute heater of a lap, they can gain a ton of time on those guys who pitted early. That is not a big group of cars.
Josh Robin being the leader here of that group. Here comes Lutz off pit road. Gotta be careful not to speed here. Johnny Thomas
Lutz. Did they beat the two of them out? But I don't think they had to take near as much gas to get to the end of this race. So Massey and Wright had to take more gas than Johnny and Lutz. And this field staying out is detrimental to Lutz, Massey, Wright, those guys, because they are running much faster laps than that group of four ever will be able to.
Now we got to hope that this stays green to the end.
If that second pack way behind, they're pitting now, so that'll take Zishan and Joe Francis, who've been playing the wait and see strategy. Those guys go ahead and get their stop done. Yeah, but this pack being so big and so well formed is really going to hurt, I think, those guys who had to pit earlier because they had less fuel in the car. And they're still staying out there. This is going to create a really big gap, I think, back to that group of four. It might take Ryan Lutz, Chris Wright, Nick Massey, might take them out of the race completely.
That would make a huge difference. Actually, it wouldn't make that much of a difference, but it would throw a huge wrench in things having someone else win other than those three.
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely want to see a new winner, but even so, I mean, if Ethan Burrell is still in this pack, he could pick up some big points if those guys fall all the way to the back.
Burrell and Rich trying to still make that top line work. They're falling back on the outside here.
That also tells me Ethan Burrell not interested in pitting this lap. He's still going to keep it out there and go at least one more. And for every lap this group stays out, that hinders Ryan Lutz, Nick Massey, Chris Wright even more. I think now there might be forming up to pit here. Trying to sort things out down the back straightaway.
See how many of them decide to come together, too. That could make a big difference after pit stops.
Flying around the lapped cars here. All right, so that group now finally has a decent group of cars, and in fact, Nick Mass is going to try to get at the spearhead of this group. I think he'll be able to do it, too. They have a bunch of them in tow there, but as long as they're side by side, don't think they're going to be able to run the laps that this group behind them is running. They're eating deeply into the lead that these guys had before.
So lead pack did not come this time, but they're pretty single file through the top 8 to 10.
They'll be coming next time by with this much single file. They got to be making that decision to go ahead and come down soon. We'll see how well they get off pit road and whether this group in the back is going to be able to make up that time they lost by running laps without a big pack of cars around them.
In fact, the whole pack is almost single file now. Just 3 cars still stuck up on the high side.
You can pit on the high side when there's only 2 or 3 cars out there. If you're Harrison Talon, you can just, kind of wait and make sure Brandon Key's going before you go as well. Looks like they're going to stay single file. They're trying to outrun this group down below. If they can do that, they're going to be very, very difficult to beat. They're going to decide it all amongst themselves here. With 10 laps to go, it's going to be a splash and go for all these guys. Josh Robin is first, Sherman second, Crump third, Dallas Mahan fourth, and Hank Steinmiller up to fifth after getting involved in that wreck. A lot of these guys have been involved in a wreck. Darrell Campbell, Michael Goodman, Burrell, Cameron Rich, all these guys. And yet they're just as fast, I believe, as that group in front of them, if not faster. Pit stop's got to be coming this time by, though. I don't think they can stay out there much longer.
That other group of Massey and Lutz need to get single file like these guys do and quit battling side by side so much. Here they come.
Yep, here comes that last group. A couple of them do stay out, but Ethan Burrell is in. Cameron Rich is in. Lafferty almost speeds on pit road. There's some talent. Tate Lytle all coming down pit road.
A good majority actually did still stay on the racetrack. It was just your bigger names in the point standings like Rich and Burrell coming down pit road. Josh Adams.
Everybody's going to be going fuel only among this group, and it's just going to be so difficult for that group that pitted first in order to catch these guys. They're going to have to go really steaming around this place.
Ethan Burrell, I do believe, led that group off of pit road.
Man, they got to him pretty quick. I'm legitimately surprised. They're making very good time. They are going to have runs on this group because that group, the big group of cars, didn't all come down at once. They've broken up a little bit. Maybe this group up top is trying to get all the way to the end on fuel. There's only 8 laps to go.
It's going to be close, though. These two packs are going to merge together right here in 3 and 4.
Could cause a caution as well with them side by side like this.
Johnny Thomas, Lutz threading the needle. Here comes Thomas through.
They're going to make it for now. They're going to make it for now. Big, big run by that second pack. Now they've caught up with this first pack.
2-car battle here. You got the teammates of Wright and Massey together. Now they're going to jump down behind Thomas and Lutz.
Yep, Ethan Burrell's going to have a couple of teammates in here as well between Lytle and Talon. I think he'll have, and Cameron Rich looks like he wants to work with Burrell as well. These guys are now making time on the race leaders unequivocally, but it looks like the race leaders are just interested in staying out till the gas tank is dry, whether that be the checkered flag or the caution flag.
So this very well could be the race for the win here, depending on what happens with those guys running up front. Chris Wright getting a run on the outside. Talon helping him out. Lytle up there as well.
Yep, that run on the top, I don't know that that's relevant to the finish of this race. We'll have to see. This bottom group seems like they are dedicated to staying out as long as possible, and if they do, they won't get caught by that top group. That top group needs this entire group below to pit. And you know some of these guys in the back, Hank Steinmiller, Gerald Campbell, Michael Goodman, James Heater, they're all saving gas, running half throttle, quarter throttle, trying to make sure they can have enough to make it to the end. I mean, 45 laps it looks like for some of those guys. That doesn't seem too egregious.
Well, big development on that bottom group. Everyone just ditched. Just ditched Ryan Lutz and Johnny Thomas. They all just went to the high side. They're trying to go around the points leader. Weeks has got in front of them now. Here comes Lytle, Massey, and Burrell trying the high side, trying to push Talon around them as well.
Yep, bottom lane is that second group. If that's oh, here comes Hank Steinmiller, Michael Goodman, a couple more. Not everybody trying to win that race on fuel strategy, but a few of them still are. Crump, Campbell, Heater, Hanshaw. Those guys all trying to stay out there, I think.
And while you were looking at that, David, scary moment for your race leader, Ryan Lutz. He tried to sneak up in front of Talon. Almost got together, almost got turned, but gave it another second and was able to clear the 32 car and get to the high side. He goes back to the front of this pack.
Lutz isn't the leader yet. Gerald Campbell's still out front. Scott Crump, James Heater, Kyle Hanshaw, and Kendall Noah Player, the 5 cars trying to make it to the end. I can't see how they're not trying to make it to the end, because you would have hit by now if you could. These guys absolutely trying to save fuel and make it all the way. There's the group that came in, so this bigger pack up top now, definitely making time on those cars around them. If I'm James Heater, Scott Crump, those guys, you got nothing to lose, man. Go for it. Go for the fuel gamble here. See if you can't make it pay off and sneak in a race win. Gerald Campbell's going really slow. I mean, he has so much ground. Like, he's got a whole lot of time to save gas. I love this call by these guys. I mean, why not, you know? Like, you're not going to win the race, you know, if you hit and end up way behind this group above. Why not give it a shot? Go for the fuel strategy. You end up running out, you have to come in. That's okay.
Guys taking a risk down there on the bottom of your screen.
They'll have to go 45 laps. I don't know if they can do it, but that certainly would be a story. Joe Campbell's got Joe Francis helping him out. I think Crump is also drafting off of Francis. Very, very low throttle. This group is getting caught massively by the group behind, but I mean, there's so much track here. They can keep going this speed. They'll never be caught. Not in 3 laps.
Unless they run out. Watching
That's the only way.
Watching that
laps.
big group behind. Weeks is leading it at the moment.
Matthew Bayou might be caught by this group. He is 15 seconds off of this front pack, trying to save fuel as well. He's getting eaten up about a second a lap. He's going to be quickly eaten up by this lead. It's this front 5 that's the question. Can they hold out enough fuel to make it to the finish line? Joe Francis doing everything in his power to help Gerald Campbell along. No quick dropping in seconds yet. I'm waiting for somebody to run out and drop quickly on seconds there. 2 laps to go for our fuel mileage attempt by a number of our drivers. Scott Crump is now the leader. He's gone around Campbell. Campbell might be out.
There's Bayou. He's going to get blown by.
Yep. Got to be careful when you're out of gas. Yep, Campbell could not get around. He's going to be out. Crump, Player, Heater. That's your front 3. Can they make it all the way back around? Kyle Hanshaw's 4th. Campbell's out of fuel, so who of this group can make it one more lap behind them? That could still be the race for the win. You got to keep an eye up there. Harrison Talon, Chris Wright, Ryan Lutz, Johnny Thomas, those guys all battling it out. But it's all behind Scott Crump and Kendall Player for now. Crump might be able to make it.
They just blew by Matthew Bayou just about a lap ago.
These guys are going so slow. Kendall Noah Player's up on Crump. Here comes Kyle Hanshaw to the outside. Does Hanshaw have enough fuel? Oh man, this is a thrilling finish. They're wrecking in the back. That's not going to matter. Massey's head on in the wall.
Rich is around. Zishan's around. Now it's just, can these guys get there?
The big question is, does Crump, does Player, does Hanshaw have enough fuel? Can any of them make a move? Heater is in 4th. He's still there too. They're all under power. They're coming down to the line. This is the race for the win. Kendall Noah Player up top. Crump tries to throw the block. Do they have enough gas? Here comes Player. At the line. I have no idea. I think Kendall Noah Player got him at the line.
He
by
did.
that
He did.
much.
Kendall did get the win.
What a finish.
By 2/1000ths of a second.
Ryan Lutz is going to finish 2 spots behind Chris Wright, 1 spot behind Ethan Burrell. Consider the championship lead retained, I believe, for Ryan Lutz. Though not by much. I think he's going to be down to about 8 points behind Chris Wright. Nick Massey's the one who's going to lose out badly in this.
So it'll be Kendall, Noah Player, Scott Crump, Kyle Hanshaw, James Heater, Chris Wright. Top 5.
Wow. Kendall hasn't run a whole lot of races this year. That is one of the best drives I've seen from anybody. I didn't even particularly enjoy drafting with him tonight in the elite race. And yeah, there he is, out of fuel. What a finish. He did a marvelous job saving fuel. So did Scott Crump. So did James Heater and Kyle Hanshaw. Those guys did everything right. They played it perfectly. They saved gas. They topped off. They did everything they needed to make it to the end, and they had just enough to go to the checker.
Ethan Burrell giving him a little helping hand here.
What a finish! .002 says Johnny Eckert, our admin there. Kendall's not going to be able to do too many burnouts, I don't think. I think that's the first win for the lemonade stand from our previous Talladega race. Alex's lemonade stand, they had never gotten into victory lane.
So we said the top 5 already. Then it'll be 6th, Ethan Burrell, Ryan Lutz, 7th, Tate Lytle, 8th, Johnny Thomas, 9th, and Thomas Sherman will round out your top 10. How about Hank Steinmiller hanging in for an 11th place finish? Dallas Myhan, Zeshawn Durham, Michael Goodman, Richard Hines at top 15, Harrison Talon, Jared Campbell, and Cameron Rich through the top 18.
Whew. The big question is, where does Nick Massey fall to after that big wreck on the last lap? Let's check the next page of results here and see. Massey's going to finish 21st. That is massive championship implications, I think.
Bayuk's 22nd. You can see some of the others there in the finishing order. Brendan Key finishes 28th after having a pretty good day up front most of the day.
Matthew Weeks gets a 31st. That's going to effectively eliminate him and Josh Adams both from championship contention today. They gave it their best, I think, but Ryan Lutz has just been able to avoid so many disasters in this chase. That's going to keep him around, and Chris Wright, similar results, I think. Man, Kendall Noah Player, Scott Crump, Kyle Hanshaw, the top 3. That's who Emily's going to get to talk to. I don't think you've interviewed any of those guys except for maybe Crump this year, Emily.
Yeah, I definitely haven't talked to Kendall or Kyle, and I think Scott, maybe once or twice. So looking forward to these ones. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher, Kyle Hanshaw. Hey, Kyle, do you have a copy? Kyle, do you have a copy? Is anyone else hearing him? Or is it just...
I am not.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll drop him back to the waiting room and we'll bring up Scott and try him again after that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in our 2nd place finisher, Scott Crump. Hey, Scott, do you have a copy?
10-4.
All right, well, let's just talk about those last few laps there. It seemed like everyone was just hanging on with the limited fuel that they had. What was your kind of takeaway from this one here tonight?
I definitely saved enough there. I ran out going into one. I probably could have doored him, won the race, but I didn't want to win that way. I knew it was going to be close. I thought I had him right there at the line, and he just inched past me right there at the last second.
Everyone kind of says that anything can happen at Talladega. Coming into this one, did you think that you would finish as well as you did tonight?
I would say so. I mean, I ran strong all night. I was out front. Last few weeks, been playing strategy, fuel, instead of just racing. Kind of just raced, and then that last pit stop, I noticed we were going to be close. I knew I had to save the rest of the whole run, and just saved enough.
You mentioned that you were working on strategy. Did you use that strategy coming into the race tonight, and did it change at all throughout the race for you?
I pretty much changed there with how many laps were left, and I was probably 3/4 throttle like the last 30 laps.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, are there any shout-outs you would like to give?
Get a shout out to my teammate Lowline, James Heater. He finished 4th, just missed podium finish. And I also get a shout out to my sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Been with me for a while. And give a shout out to y'all in the booth.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the time tonight, Scott, and congratulations on finishing 2nd.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to try Kyle once again and see if he is here. Hey, Kyle, do you have a copy?
I do.
All right, well, 3rd place for you here tonight. Just your impressions on how this one went for you.
I thought all the guys did a really good job all race long. I mean, they were showing respect out there, giving each other room. We had a couple of incidences on track, but I mean, for the most part, it was good racing all around. I had made my last pit stop there, and I just didn't want to lose track position and just tried to maintain and save as much fuel as I could. And I was short there for a little bit, but I was able to back it off and make it till the end. I actually ran out in the tri-oval. It sputtered there and couldn't catch up to those guys. I probably should have backed off a little more on that final lap and waited to make my move a little later than I did. But all in all, it was a good night for us. Top 3, I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. There were a few big crashes here tonight. How were you able to avoid any significant damage to your car?
The one wreck, I believe it was the first one. I dove it to the bottom, tried to miss Lutz, and I think I got into his left rear quarter panel. But I don't think I got damage. I got lucky there, and then the next caution, I just made the right move at the right time. I was on the bottom lane, going down the backstretch, and I decided to go to the top at the very last minute, going into 3, and then that crash happened in front of me. I was able to just downshift it and get her slowed up enough to miss it. So I like plate racing. It's one of my favorite forms of racing to do on iRacing. So just was trying to help Cam out there as much as I could to get him a win, or as much, as many points as I could. But he got caught up in too many wrecks, and that was that.
Is this your first time finishing in the top 3 for ERSCA this season? I feel like this is the first time we've talked to you.
Yes, I believe so. Last year, I think my highest finishing position was 7th, and then I think I tied that this season. But yeah, this is my highest run that I've had.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, are there any shout-outs you would like to give tonight?
Yeah, shout out to all of our sponsors for ERSCA. Shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys do an awesome job. Really enjoy going back and watching the broadcast, and everything went. Excellent coverage there. And then just like to thank my sponsor for this season, Ohio Intra Express. Shout out to my wife who puts up with this stuff, and that's about it, guys.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for your time tonight, and congratulations on finishing 3rd.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
You too. All right, and with that, I am going to bring in our first place finisher, Kendall. Hey, Kendall, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, well, what do you think was the reason why you were so successful with this one here tonight?
Being able to save gas is the first one, because I was sitting like last or within the last 4 cars on that line the whole time, running like 3/4 throttle the whole run. Getting through that run and just being able to get to where it would be close enough. Like the last 10 laps, I wasn't looking at anything other than how much I had estimated left, and I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I'm clicking it off. I'm half laps to the good right now, and I'm clicking them off for 1 lap to 1 lap right now, so I'm not burning too much. I'm burning just enough.
Was that your strategy kind of coming into this one tonight, to sort of hang back, wait for things to kind of die down a little bit, and then make your move?
That's how I usually run plate races, try and get some of the mess out of the way. Some of them don't unfold that way, so you gotta have to go sometimes. Usually you get a pretty good feel of how the race is gonna go throughout the first half. But with that, I just the way the cautions fell, I was like, okay, I'm kind of close, so I'll try and keep it that way. And then I kept it that way throughout the whole run. And I knew everybody up front, unless we were running too fast for anybody up front to be able to try and do it. But I just stayed back there, stayed committed to the plan. Everybody in the team was like, okay, so whenever they're like, okay, when are we gonna pit? People started to pit and like, are we gonna go now? Because we kind of need to go now. And everybody's like, go as far as you can. That was the plan for me the whole time, go as far as I could. I'm not running for anything other than wins, so
Well, speaking of wins, this is your first one in ERSCA this season, right?
Yep.
Awesome. How does it feel?
It feels pretty incredible. I'm not used to winning a lot. Most of the time when I do, it's at Dago or Daytona or some weird track like Pocono, but it's fun to win, even if it's at tracks like this. But it's always a fun feeling to be in victory lane, no matter where it's at, no matter what league it's in. You know, Johnny puts on an awesome league here. I wish I could run more, but you know, I show up when I can, and you know, being able to win in a league as competitive as this is just big.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, are there any shout outs you would like to give tonight?
I'd like to shout out the PRC esports guys. They were working with me the whole night. Thank God for allowing me to be able to do this. Shout out to Dalen Barr, Coastal Carolina. I don't remember what it was that I had on the hood because I painted this car a while back when I did it. Y'all worked with them a while back, so I'm sure y'all can remember the name better than I can. But I'm glad that I got to see them in victory lane too, because I know they have a pretty good mission behind what they're doing.
Awesome. Well, Kendall, thank you so much for the time tonight, and congratulations on coming in first.
Thank you.
All right, guys, throwing it back to you.
Wow. Just an incredible race tonight. I mean, that's the closest finish in ERSCA history right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of crazy how that one played out. Did not think that's how it was going to end, but there's a saying to sum up the ERSCA season so far. That's it right there.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think we have. Did not win. Yeah, I know that definitely didn't. Kendall did though. That's an impressive drive by him, and definitely well deserved. He puts in the time, and he's one of those good guys who it's good to see him win a race. And I don't know if we have the point standings, but I think Chris Wright's pretty close to Ryan Lutz. It's certainly going to be a battle when we go to Richmond next week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. 2 races left to go here in the season, Richmond and then Las Vegas.
All right, well, Emily, any final thoughts from this one before we head out?
Yeah, this was a really fun one. Did not go the way that I thought it was going to go. Like you guys said, I thought there were going to be a lot more cautions, and I did not expect the top 3 to finish the way that it did. But that's what makes this so fun. It seems like anything can happen every week. A different story. So looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to seeing how this chase race plays out.
What about you, Dom? Final thoughts?
Just going to be interesting to watch the points, see if these guys can keep the pressure on Lutz. Or I know, David, you said Lutz is pretty good at Richmond. We'll see if he can go in there and kind of cure it up before they head to Vegas in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Chris Wright told me to watch out for him and Nick Massey at Richmond. He feels like they'll have something for Ryan Lutz. Think it'll be a battle between those 3, both for the championship and for our next 2 race wins. So from myself, David Westergreen, Dom Santina, Emily Harlan, Carlos at 3 Wide TV, this has been the Belly Up Sports ERSCA series. Tune in to us next week, same time, Richmond. Short track racing. We'll see what these guys can do and who will be the favorite to bring home the championship at Las Vegas. Good night, everybody.